In today's video, science versus experience.
All by myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com coming at you on Monday morning after a wonderful holiday weekend, Thanksgiving here in the United States, and probably some sales going on with the Black Friday, the Cyber Monday, whatever, but it's been a hectic, crazy, most badass month possible. The month of November, end of October, between the Yorton Cup, my show, NPC Nationals, the holiday. Well, here we are, and it feels like a lot of stuff's been lifted off the old shoulders here. Little shoulder relief, all good stuff. But still, when you've got a lot of stuff weighing on you, you know, you almost don't realize it till it's gone, that you just feel a little better, you feel a little different. I woke up today, little extra pep in my step, excited to get to my client emails, excited to talk to my people about 2018, because as great as 2017 was, we're gonna step it up a notch. Team Pro Physique taking that next step forward. So look out for a lot of good things. Just so much to be thankful for. And so what we're gonna do is spend the next month just cranking it up, starting to plan for 2018. So I talked to a guy by the name of Bret Contreras. Some of you guys might have heard of him. He is obsessed with the butt. That's right. He loves to build the glutes. If you're not familiar with Bret Contreras, he actually has a PhD in exercise science, and he loves the idea of building the glute muscles. Well, that just so happens to be the main focus of a lot of competitors these days, building the butt. So myself and Lauren Conlon are heading out to the LA Fit Expo. The next day, we are headed down to San Diego to see my man Bret Contreras, and we're gonna do a seminar at his gym. So details to come about that. I have a phone call today with Bret, and then we're gonna get some details out, get the information to you guys. So that's gonna be something very cool. So yeah, we're starting the year off with a bang. And I believe, if you're not listening to my podcast that I do with Lauren Conlon, Redefine Healthy Radio, it is our podcast. Well, we're gonna have our guest on this week, I believe, if Lauren gets back. And that is going to be Lauren Dannemiller, who won the NPC overall title, and she won Class F. She is the bikini overall champion for 2017, the same title that Lauren Conlon won in 2014. So yeah, it'll be cool to have them both on, talk about their experiences, talk about Lauren Dannemiller's year, prep, all those things. And yeah, I think it'll be interesting to kind of see how things have progressed. I know for me personally, being there in 2014 with Lauren Conlon, and then obviously being there this year with Lauren Dannemiller, yeah, I have a lot of feelings about that we can share. And so what I wanted to talk about with you guys today on this video was the idea of the difference between science and experience, because a lot of times we look for science to explain things to us. We look for a study, some research, and for very good reasons. There's been a lot of research that has helped me as a coach get better, change the way I do things. There's also been a few times where I've gone against the exact idea of science because I felt my experience or the experience of an athlete or another coach better suited what I was going after. And so what I wanted to talk about today with science versus experience is, like, when should you use either? When should you apply science versus experience? And I think the most important thing that we have to look at is the specifics of what you're going after, okay? If you're going after something so specific, like getting on stage, getting stage lean, getting to a place where your body fat is very low, that is a place where science has not gone. There is no research on bodybuilders that get sub 5% body fat, okay? And while physiology still holds true, there are so many changes to the body at that point that we can't look at research to give us exact answers on what's going on. Now, hopefully in the future there'll be more case studies, and then we can do some correlative studies, some analysis of things. There's been some good case studies of some male bodybuilders in contest prep. I have yet to see a case study of a female getting stage lean and doing things like blood work, but hopefully that stuff happens in the future. So when we're doing something so specific, like getting on stage, like being a competitive bodybuilder, I feel that is where science kind of can be lacking, and that is where experience comes into play. And that is something that I've gained over the last couple of years through working with great coaches, being a part of some great camps and seminars, and working with hundreds and hundreds of stage competitors as I've kind of seen how things go. Even this year, I feel like I stepped up my game a bit through working with Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe is someone who's been doing this for, gosh, I don't want to age Joe, but it's probably been 20 years that he's been peaking people using scientific methods. Dr. Joe stayed with me this year, and he's been a resource for me, and by no accident, I've had a fantastic end of the year with my clients and peaking. But it's not through just scientific methods. We use a lot of science to get us there, but when you're doing something so specific, like getting on a bodybuilding stage, you have to be paying attention to variables. I actually have my clients check in every single day during a peak week because a lot of things are going on. And you also learn a lot when you do that, when you talk to people. So when is science important? Well, I think science is important when we're looking at the overall scheme of things. So some research came out recently about a diet break study. And that diet break study backed up what I had kind of been doing for the last year. What I had been doing for the last year is when I reached a sticking point with someone, when I had a client get to a place where calories were getting pretty low, cardio was getting pretty high, weight loss was stalled, although I didn't feel it should be, I implemented what I call a diet break. A diet break is basically where you bring calories up near maintenance, bring cardio back down. I like to keep cardio just enough to keep the body adapted. I don't want it to become unadapted to cardio. And we spend a full week at that, and I had amazing results. The study that came out actually showed some 2-week benefits to diet breaks. But when you're talking about contest prep, 2-week diet breaks may set us back too far. But what I do like to do is build in a 1-week diet break in contest prep where I need it. So what's cool is that there is some scientific research going on that is benefiting the fitness community, that is benefiting those of us who are dieting for competition. But if you're just dieting for fat loss, then maybe this 2-week research is really good news. Now, the trouble I have with convincing a client or someone who wants to lose fat that for 2 weeks we're going to go on a diet break where our goal is not necessarily to lose fat, but it is going to be to restore some of the hormones, restore some of the well-being, muscle fullness, just the grind gets to go away for a couple weeks. Sometimes people get so scared of that because they just want to make progress. And sometimes you got to see the forest for the trees, right? Sometimes you got to understand that to make big progress, you got to allow yourself to do these things like diet breaks. And so that's where science comes in very handy. You see, it was almost 2 years ago now when I spent some time with Eric Helms, I really got the benefit of discussing diet breaks with him, which is something he had been using, but I had not. And I immediately started implementing them with fantastic results. That is a situation where science aided my experience. Now we use diet breaks. We know what the signs are to look for in coaching. I think they're becoming much more common. Maybe not common with everybody, but I feel like it's a trickle-down effect, right? The people that are kind of the forerunners to use these things kind of give the inkling and ideas, and then people start to implement them. They become common sense. I remember years ago, refeeds were very rare. Now I feel like they're very common. If you're not using a refeed strategy throughout contest prep, I don't feel like your contest prep is optimal. When do you use them? How do they look? That's all very variable. But again, these are kind of things that are done through experience. So when we're talking about science versus experience, I think they're both very important. You can't ignore either. But you have to learn how to pay attention to things that are changing, even if they're kind of not totally in agreement with what science might say. Because the human body, as much as we would like it to be, is not a black and white example. It's not an A and B. It's not a, you do this, this happens. The body is different from day to day, week to week, cycle to cycle. Your sleep, your training, your cardio, your stress in life, all these things have so much importance, along with your change in body composition, your change in body fat, your change in metabolism. It's such a dynamic process that you need to use both to make the most out of your progress. I want to keep today's video short, guys. It's Monday. I'm itching to get back in there and start working, but I'm excited about what's about to happen. We are going to finish 2017 with some amazing things. A lot of good stuff happened, and then we are starting fast and furious in the new year. I'll be at the LA Fit Expo, and then I'm gonna go down and see Brett. You can bet we'll be at the Arnold. Probably do something in between there. Me and Lauren are gonna be crushing the Redefine Healthy Radio podcast. The YouTube will be doing well. So overall, it's just gonna be a lot of information, sharing with you guys. Hopefully, if there's something you're interested in learning about, we can cover it. I mean, that's really what our goal is staying in tune with what's going on with our audience. And if you guys have any feedback for me, let me know below, and we'll get to that. But overall, I want to thank you guys for an amazing last month, 2017 in general, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All by myself.